You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply. You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
Shadow Show.
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 Shadowing it.
Shadowing it. I come in here today, that sound you heard of an exhale was Stugotz's. I come in here today and I see, we're on, I see Andrew Hawkins and I say to him by way of hello, because I haven't seen him in a while.
It's been a while.
What do you have that's interesting to you these days? And he is totally silent for a while, and I move on with my morning, and there's just silence there. And then, I don't know, 6 minutes later, he shouts across the room, "It's the year of the American white."
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. He's right.
Yep, that's not wrong. And it took me a while to verbalize that in sports. That's a thing for me, especially in front of Stugotz. When I said that, confetti fell from the ceiling. I don't even know how the hell he had it on cue.
Right.
But sure enough, as soon as I said it, just fireworks.
Do you care to elaborate? I mean, it seems obvious.
I mean, look, it seems obvious because it is, okay? And I tried to deny it for a while, but Mac McClung being the 3-time NBA All-Star Slam Dunk champion was a thing. And when he first started jumping over things, I'm like, all right, this will fade out. Somebody will catch up at some point.
This was years ago, you were saying.
This is years ago. And I remember, actually, I think the first appearance that I made on this show, I introduced everybody to a man named Riley Moss, who was a cornerback at the time for Iowa. And I'm like, hey, buckle up, white cornerbacks are coming. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? And I had seen him play against my nephew. And fast forward to here we are. We got Cooper DeJean. We got Riley Moss, right? You got Cooper. You got Riley. You never have Riley Cooper. Let me be very clear on that. You don't go there. Riley's good. Cooper's good. No Riley Cooper.
Okay, yes.
Obviously, the Caitlin Clark taking over women's basketball.
Yep.
Right? Cooper Cup. Cooper is like Cooper Flag. There's a lot of Coopers. Cooper is like the white Jalen right now.
It's the year it's the year of the Cooper, really. It's
a couple years ago under Chip Kelly, there was a moment.
That's what exactly. We don't go that one. Again,
remember what a big deal that seemed like?
That was a huge deal back then. But again, you can go Riley, you can go Cooper, you can't go Riley Cooper. That is the rule. So it's if I would have told you, okay, coming into this season, there's going to be an NFL wide receiver who gets shot in the chest and then plays the next day because he was trying to get robbed for his chain. You wouldn't have thought of a white guy, Mike. That would not be
1,000 guesses.
It took a couple weeks.
1,000 guesses.
It took a couple weeks.
You wouldn't have got there, but there's an
Which
evolution
city did it happen
happening.
in?
There's an evolution happening in American sports.
Who's the leadership in the city?
I have a number of different questions that I want to ask you, but when it comes to playing word association with a person, Riley Cooper, there's one thing you associate with him. It's not football player. It's not career. Like the one thing, when I hear that name, all I think about, like the first thing that floods to me is this guy was in the middle of using the N-word at a country concert.
I think Kenny Chesney. That's usually the word association that I do. Riley Cooper, Kenny Chesney.
I associate him with only that thing.
He was a part of that whole Gators team, which is really funny in retrospect.
Again, we can.
I don't think about that though.
We can do a whole resume if you want. I know there are other things on the resume.
Well,
I'm
the
just
Gator
saying.
team was funny.
The Gator thing is funny because that's his piece of the equation. Of all the different Gators players that got into trouble, his was saying the N-word at a Kenny Chesney party.
All right, let's get started.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Stugotz, I am curious if you had any sort of emotional or visceral reaction to the New York Jets on their account, thanking Aaron Rodgers for all of the memories, for everything you've given us.
Name one.
The past 2 years. Thank you. Number 8, you say the memory. The only memory I have is him getting injured after carrying the American flag on the field. Like, is there another memory of his Jets career? 2 years of the tenure, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. The Jets swallow him. I didn't think he deserved this goodbye. Did he deserve this goodbye from the New York Jets?
He did not. There are 2 memories. It's him carrying the American flag, as you pointed out, and then him 4 plays later tearing his Achilles. That's about it. Thank you for nothing. I mean,
how does this work? What is the other memory you guys have on 2 years of Aaron Rodgers, and how do Jets fans feel about the entirety of the experience? Is it the end of Brett Favre's career with the Jets? Like what?
Oh, Brett Favre gave us something.
Yeah, Brett almost made the playoffs.
Almost made the playoffs.
A worse
yes.
scandal. He gave you that too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, for 9 weeks,
Fair
though,
enough.
for 9 weeks with Brett Favre, the Jets were the best team in the NFL. It was the best Jet team of all time for 9 weeks. I mean,
He left it out there. Yeah, it was 4 plays, but you can't deny he left his Achilles on the field for that franchise.
I thought you were talking about Brett.
Yeah,
me too.
He also
he left it out there, all right.
He really did. He did. I mean, it's true. Put it back up there again, because I really do just want to look at this for a second.
I thought we were still talking about Brett Favre. I was like, don't put that back up there. What?
The Jets put up thank you, and for everything you've given us the past 2 years, thank you, number 8. And my question is, what did he give them the last 2 years? I'm asking the question seriously.
Nothing.
What?
I'm answering it seriously.
Popularity?
No.
The Jets have never been a part of the national conversation as often as they were in their franchise history.
Yeah, but for the
that
wrong
at
reasons.
least goes to the bottom line, though.
No, I know, but we've always been like a team that everyone's made fun of, and this kind of ratcheted that up because you got an MVP quarterback, the greatest quarterback, I would say, in franchise history, right? And in 4 plays, that's over. That whole dream is over.
What about hope? Does hope mean nothing to you? You had so much hope.
I have hope every August.
You woke up in those mornings feeling like you had a chance, no?
That one morning, yes.
Hope and sales at the beginning he was good for. Hope and sales, that can't be disputed. Like,
there you go.
He was good for business at the beginning, but then you're theorizing that the rest of what he gives is just attention to the Jets, but it's not good attention, and then it becomes Chris Cody's theory of, in the modern age, all attention is good attention. It doesn't even matter whether it is good or bad. You just make yourself more famous, and that's the currency of the day.
That's not wrong. It's not a wrong take. And maybe I'm a little biased because the Browns gave me a beautiful thank you when I left after losing many a games, never seeing a playoff. But you talking about the love that they shouted me out with after I left that organization. And I'm no Aaron Rodgers, so I'm like, Are
you trying to convince me that I'm going to miss Aaron Rodgers?
I think you will.
Is that what you're doing? I won't.
I'm not sure, actually. Like, what are they going to do at quarterback? And Andrew Hawkins at least got his big goodbye from the Browns because he represents one of the great things in sports that everyone can embrace, which is the underdog. Aaron Rodgers was not that. He's not the gritty underdog.
Hawkins was also good for the Browns, whereas Aaron wasn't good for the Jets.
Yes.
Well,
right. How often did you skip training camp to go to Egypt or whatever?
It was only that 1 year, Jessica. No, I never skipped training camp. No, I was a show up guy for sure. When you're under 5'8", you kind of have to show up for everything.
Well, but it wasn't on the Browns that you decided.
You don't really have a choice.
On the Browns, it wasn't where you said on the sidelines, "I will not punt return during an exhibition."
No, that was the Cincinnati Bengals, and they also gave me a beautiful goodbye when I left their organization.
Yeah, and then there was that one time where he was at training camp, and he's like, "I don't feel like doing this anymore." Tom Brady, Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe I am a little more Aaron Rodgers than it looks like on the surface. Okay, which plays into my point. It's okay to thank him for coming to because he had to move a lot of mountains to go to the Jets.
Right.
He had other places he could have gone at that time. This was the place that he chose. It didn't work out. It's okay to break up amicably and say, hey, no hard feelings. Thank you for the times that we had, Stugotz.
I can have hard feelings. I can.
Okay.
We've covered this a couple times, but I thought you were going to kill it in New England. You patterned your game after Wes Welker, and you're the quickest man alive. And I'd seen you in Cleveland. Man. I'm like, finally, the world's going to learn how good Andrew Hawkins is going to be. He's going to become a superstar in New England. Was it just not going that way in camp? Did you not feel the same? Because I kind of felt like it was going to work out.
I felt, this is no BS, I felt as quick as I ever had in my life in the offseason with the New England Patriots. And it wasn't the work, because everyone's like, oh, you get there and it's hard. There's not I'm not scared of work. I'm a workaholic, actually. So if I was addicted to crack, you're not going to scare me with crack. It's a good thing in that right in the middle of my work addiction. The problem was it was miserable. And it was miserable for a lot of things. And it was man, this just doesn't feel like at all what I want to do. My knee was hurting and I locked up for 4 weeks that off season. And so once I got there, by day 2, no BS, I was like, oh yeah, this isn't going to work for me. There was no light in the building.
Well, I want to ask you about this, okay? I want to ask you about not just the Patriot way. We were having this conversation last week about I think it was Billy who said you run or no, it was Greg Cody who said I run a loose ship. And I was like, I thought everybody wanted a loose ship. I thought that would be more fun than whatever it is that the Patriots do. But the Patriots do also win and could also get tricked into thinking that the reason they won is because they did it with no lights that way. So let me play some sound here of Cam Newton talking the other day about what loser culture is and how Cam Newton felt walking into the Carolina locker room. He's on Travis Hunter's podcast here.
How did you handle the pressure of being the top pick?
Let's put it in perspective. You're the top pick because what?
Well, you play.
No. You're looking at it from a personal situation. I'm talking about from the professional situation. You're the top pick because that was the worst team in the NFL the year before. For me, I wanted to be the number 1 pick. You could potentially be the first pick, but bro, you have no way of impacting the game like a quarterback does. You can lock down the number 1 receiver. You can make impact plays on offense all you want, but it's still not like a quarterback. My issue is when I was the first pick, I went into a locker room of losers. Guys didn't know how to win. Guys didn't know how to prepare. It was a culture shock for me. The games don't mean a lot to a lot of people in the league like you would expect. It's just money. Not everybody has capabilities to be impact players. They're just players.
He pissed off that locker room, pissed off Steve Smith by calling him a loser.
I love Steve Smith. That's a big fan of Steve Smith. Not a guy I would want to piss off in an older time. He's mature, very mature guy now, but in his heyday.
Yeah, he broke the eye socket of teammates.
He's still not somebody.
He's a tough dude. I don't want to piss him off.
As long as he's alive, and maybe after, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Total respect.
When it comes to addictions, because you mentioned being addicted to crack, when is it an addiction, and when are you an aholic? Why aren't they crackaholics?
Put it on the poll, please.
Great question.
At Le Batard Show. Why aren't they crackaholics?
They're crack addicts, right?
Or
not crackaholics.
They're crackheads or crack addicts. They're not crackaholics. I've never heard crackaholic.
Yeah, that's a good
The losers in the locker room,
but thank you.
When Cam Newton says that, I can imagine Steve Smith bristling, but I want to ask you about the idea of what is the right line between having joy in the workplace and having misery in the workplace because of the distance between we've got too many rules or not enough rules.
Yeah, I don't think it's there isn't a line, and I think that's the whole point. I don't know if the Chiefs, who yes they just lost the Super Bowl in a huge fashion, but you talk about success in a dynasty, they don't do it the same way that the New England Patriots do it. That doesn't mean that because they're having fun and they have better marketing agents that they're not still a dynasty and a culture of winning, right? And I think for me, even when it comes to New England, and I say that it was miserable for me because I was 31 years old, I had 3 children, I had been playing professional football by that time for 10 years chasing this dream, which took me from living on somebody's couch to working in a factory, to all these ridiculous things. And my goal, I'm not BSing when I say this, was literally to play 1 game. So no, I didn't come into the league thinking I was going to be a Pro Bowler. I didn't have any conception of thinking that I was going to get a second contract. I had Nothing. One game was all I wanted. So by 31 years old, and I'm walking down a hallway for 20 yards, me and just a coach. And when we get close, as we inch towards each other, and I'm new, and we get right beside each other, I say, hey, what's up, coach? And they look at you and just keep walking. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I can't do this at this age. Maybe at 25, when I was incredibly hungry and I was just trying to prove myself. And at that,
you got your feelings hurt by that?
I didn't get my feelings hurt. It was that I didn't want to be like,
sadness and a loneliness to it,
hey,
right? Yeah.
Hey, mother, I said, what's up? You didn't hear me?
Right.
Don't do that. I didn't want to go there because I'm new here and because that's how I feel now because I have children that I would rather be at home with at this time. That's why it was the wrong time.
But let me ask you this part, because we like to dismiss people who care very deeply and get to the top 1% of the top 1% as losers when they lose. I think it was Ben Axelrod who had this stat the other day. While you were there, the Browns were 1-31, passed on 3 MVP quarterbacks in the draft with the first pick, while going 1-31, and had their 2 best players request trades that they got from the 1-31. That's loser. That's in terms of a 2-year span, you will rarely see more loser than that in the NFL.
Yeah, but Hawk is saying his personal goal was just to play a single game. He played 74.
But I'm curious when Cam says that most of the guys in the locker room didn't care the way he did. They cared about money. That wasn't the locker room you were walking into with the Patriots, was it?
No, and I won't say that was the locker room that I was with the Browns or the Bengals either. Like, you have 53 people. Yes, everybody's motivations are going to be different. My motivation was to play one game, but I'm also a maniac when it comes to living up to expectation. So I approached every day like it was a game because I was scared to death I was going to get cut. So that is not fun. That is not fun to feel like if you make one mistake, you're going to have trouble feeding your family. And so my standard, even though it was one game was my goal, my standard never changed, whether I was with the Browns, Patriots, Bengals, or whatever. And there's other guys that I don't think it's crazy to think about, people who grew up in poverty. Yes, some people's goal is just not to be in poverty anymore, right? And it comes down to the fact, can you maintain whatever level of excellence that you got to become the 1% of the 1%? Or even if you won the genetic lottery, maybe a large majority of the guys in the NFL, it isn't work ethic. It isn't how you approach it. It is you won the genetic lottery, and because you're 6'6" and you run a 4.4 with a 42-inch vertical leap, everybody understands, well, even if you're not motivated and working hard, you're still better than the 5'7" kid from Toledo. Like, we'll still give you a shot. We have a better chance of winning with you than this guy. And so, yeah, it's not a surprise that it is a lot of luck to construct a locker room that has that right mix of guys who have the right mentality, that has the right mix of genetics as well, and also has a quarterback who aligns with where you are in that time. Most championship dynasties and teams have that going for them.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Mattel, Heinz, or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making and selling, and for shoppers, buying. Simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. No one does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Batard to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Batard.
Dan Le Batard.
So, like, there was a time that, and I'll tell you who this person is that I admired, and I said, that'd be a great career for me. Ryan Seacrest.
Stugotz.
And then to take it a step further, just a couple weeks ago, James Corden was stepping down, and I said, who'd be a great replacement for him? Me, I could do that. I could replace James Corden,
I actually
right?
agree with you on that.
If I don't have to move to LA and I could just do this somewhere near in the Tamiami area, like they have an old, theater that's kind of abandoned right now. Maybe we do something there. I mean, people like to come to Miami, right?
Kmart into your late show studio.
Yes, I didn't even think about that. Wow, that's a theater right there.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Roy, Jess, were you as surprised as I was? Because he just mentioned not being surprised. Were you guys as surprised as I was to see Billy pop up at the Daytona 500 out of nowhere with no announcement? It's not as surprising to me as Cartersville, Georgia, and Billy Gilday was that he took his whole family there unannounced. But I was surprised. Were you guys surprised?
Absolutely. Like, he probably wasn't there for the race. He had to have been there for something else, right?
No.
No, you were there for the race?
There for the race. Yeah, if you want to know the nuts and bolts of it, someone from NASCAR reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and I said, Super Bowl's coming up. Let's see, we'll figure this out. And then Super Bowl came and went, and we ended up, in Daytona, the Great American Race.
You went with Matt Kugler,
That's
producer of South Beach Sessions. You went with Matt Kugler. He was there.
Passes.
I have never seen such joy out of. What happened here? Where's the gearhead? I thought we didn't talk about. Thank you. I thought we didn't talk about Daytona 500 unless there was a gearhead. Why were you there? How were you there? It was Pitbull related, right?
Pitbull happened to be there. Demi Lovato was there the night before at a private party that we went to. So, I mean, it's a whole thing. Like, you just kind of. It's a big event, the Great American Race. It's the Super Bowl of motorsports, many say, even though it's the first race. So we had to go. It's Daytona. It's a quick drive up. We drove up. We were going back and forth. I talked to Carl. I think maybe I'm going to be able to expense the place that we stayed that night so we can go cover the race the next day. And yeah, I mean, if you invite us there and it's reasonable and we can make it happen, we'll go cover your event.
If Pitbull's there.
Well, Pitbull being honestly, like, I didn't know
because Billy was there.
I didn't
not
know
the other way
Pitbull
around.
was there when I agreed
When you
to
said
do
yes?
it. Yeah, I
Wasn't
didn't
his-
know Demi Lovato was going to
He
be
was
there.
supposed to be there last year, and then they had weather delays, and so
Yeah.
this was like a makeup date for Pitbull.
Yeah, I think last year he was supposed to perform, and then it got canceled. Not canceled, but like pushed back to the next day. And there was like, I don't know, spoiler alert. There was, well, I guess not spoiler. You could easily check in on what happened at the Daytona 500. But it rained after like 11 laps, and there was a very lengthy delay. And then they have to drive around and they have to dry the track with special drying cars. It's a fun time. Have you ever been, Dan?
I have, and I find when you say find a cheap place to play, obviously I think outside of Biker Week, maybe it's got to be the biggest weekend in Daytona. It's got to be bigger than Biker Week, right? Like, I don't think there are cheap places or easy places to stay in Daytona during the Great American Race.
You'll find out. He's expensing it.
Yeah, we stayed at New Smyrna Beach about 35 minutes away, and then we drove over an Airbnb. Lovely place to stay. Chad, great host. If anyone has any recommendations or is looking for a place to stay in New Smyrna Beach, stay at Chad's place. It was nice.
The World Center of Racing in Daytona is really awe-inspiring in terms of a sporting venue. Like, I don't know how it comes across on TV, but having been there and seen it, it is a really huge, impressive thing. It's one of those, it's kind of like the Sphere. It has to be seen to be believed at how huge it was. I'm so happy that Billy went because I know he's a gearhead. It's not his first Daytona. He's been to Homestead.
I've been to more Daytona 500s than Super Bowls.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Bigger weekend in Daytona. Spring break, Biker Week, or Daytona 500
weekend?
It's the
Daytona 500. Come on,
Of course
Dan.
it is.
I feel like we're glossing over how good of a dancer Matt Kugler was in that clip.
Yeah, Kugler was really good. But that's what Pitbull
It was
does.
embarrassing, to be honest with you, because he did it the night before, and we were like at this NASCAR event with all these big NASCAR bigwigs there, and Jersey Jerry from Barstool was there too, and Cougs is just dancing up a storm like that. And it's like, can you please stop it? No one else is dancing.
But he's
at this
really
venue.
smooth with
Classic
it, though.
Cougs,
That's
yeah.
not like that's not his first rodeo. That is in the mirror, probably a lot of minutes and times logged at home to get that kind of just the shoulder symmetry to the beat. I can't hear the music, but I can hear it in my head because I'm watching it.
Because it's Pitbull, which, by the way, we need to talk about what a professional Pitbull is,
Oh,
because he
yeah.
could have very easily said, I'm not doing that. In fact, he's no longer with Trackhouse Racing, but he's a professional, even though Mother Nature got in the way last year, as he famously once said, they can't, they won't, they never will. Stop the party.
All right, let's play this again so that everyone can see how wrong they were about Kugler being infectious. I want you to watch the bearded guy on the left. Watch
That's
him.
the guy I'm focused on.
He gets into it like you're saying he didn't get anyone else into it. And I say you're wrong. He got that bearded guy. He was a leader. Kugler was a leader, and he got everyone in there on that flat-footed shoulder dance that doesn't involve lifting your feet anywhere off of the ground. It's just flat-footed.
Yep.
Look at all these people. Look at all the lives Pitbull is touching right now. Man, he crosses over.
I know how Kugler pulls now. I can see he's get me in the put the music on and watch me become the center of attention.
They should have played that on Saturday night on live television for 3 hours as part of the 50-year Saturday Night Live anniversary. I want to talk about that in just a second.
Transition.
The reason I'm transitioning, I'll tell you why I'm transitioning. I'm going to give you the secret of what this transition is. Billy, you laugh, but wait until you hear why the transition made an appearance. Lewis said to me, hey, I've got 4 videos from Daytona. And then after 30 seconds, he's like, none of them are good.
Whoa, wait a second. Hold on.
That's what just happened.
No,
that's why
impossible.
it just happened. That's
impossible.
That's why it just happened
Impossible.
that way.
I was told in my NASCAR group chat, which Billy, if you want in, let me know, that Billy had the best interview with Joey Logano anyone's ever seen.
That's what I was told. But I was told the 4 videos that we have ready are not ready to go right now, and that's why you got the transition that you did. Thank you for just leaving it out there without pointing it out to everybody.
I don't know how that's possible.
It's just,
The
I
video's been
know.
out
So
for
tell me
days.
what I'm throwing it to, and we'll judge
I have
for
no idea what they
ourselves.
have.
Okay, very good. So let's throw it to the first video that Lewis says isn't good enough without context, as Billy doesn't know what video we're throwing it to.
What a day in Daytona. Huh. Hey, yeah, yeah. Que no pare la fiesta. Don't stop the party. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Que no pare la fiesta. Don't stop the party. Electric. How many of these people do we think are here just for Pitbull? Most of them. Look at this. No one's in their seats. They're here at the stage watching Pitt. Huh. What a day. This is what NASCAR is about. This is what it's about. That's how you open a NASCAR season. Just like that. Huh. I'm home.
That video was good enough.
I'm home.
That video was good enough.
I mean, it's me singing. It's not
decent.
exactly showing off NASCAR.
Look at the access that fans have at a NASCAR race. You tried doing that at Formula One.
It
Everyone's
really is
nose
crazy.
is turned up. This is like minutes before the race starts. Minutes before the president has access to the speedway.
Dude, you're like 5 feet away from the president. Like, you can virtually do whatever you want.
You're
at
writing your
Daytona.
name on the finish line.
Oh, yeah,
You're
I
watching
did that. I wrote my
Pitbull.
name on the track. The way we opened the video, like, I was on, it was in pit row on the wall as the cars are driving by, just shooting a start to a video. And it wasn't because, like, I was a special person. I just stood there for 30 minutes so that I would have that spot.
I will tell you that I really enjoyed just moments ago hearing Lewis in my ear cringe as Stugotz whispered to Billy in the talkback. That's the way you expense it.
It is.
When that video was played at the concert. Let's play another video here that Lewis has deemed not good
I
enough.
sent a video from Four Nations.
Well,
he was
he's now in control and can play a video to tank this
Well, but
whole
he was
thing.
wrong on the first one, so let's see what else we've got.
0 for 1.
It's the 67th running of the Daytona 500 at Daytona International Speedway. The fans, as you can see, are lining up and they're getting ready for Pitbull, who's going to be hitting the stage shortly. Bit of a sad day. Pitbull had a falling out with his race team 2 days ago, so he's no longer part of Trackhouse Racing, unfortunately. So some are saying this may be his swan song. This may be his last performance for NASCAR. Time will tell, but just very lucky that we're here for this moment in history when Pitbull is going to sing one, maybe last time at Daytona International Speedway. Sir, are you excited for Pitbull today?
I'm sorry?
Are you excited for Pitbull today?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sad that he had a falling out with Trackhouse Racing.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. He seemed too emotional to speak on that. So.
2 for 2.
Good one.
That's how you do it, Billy.
Billy, were you recognized by many people there?
Nobody.
I don't see us as having much. I don't see people in NASCAR checking in on this show for our NASCAR information and NASCAR coverage, no matter how hard Mike tries.
I was asked by many people, they came up to me just because they saw the camera and the microphone, like, you a YouTuber? And I'm like, kind of. It's complicated. Like, let's just say yes for now.
Let's play a third video of Billy at the Daytona 500 as Meadowlark Media tries to expand its coverage to see if we could grab some NASCAR fans.
Daytona Motor Speedway International, Daytona International Speedway, the Super Bowl of racing. Even though it's the first race, which is like weird because normally the Super Bowl is the end of the year. Not normally, it's always at the end of the year.
What's this music?
And then that's where they determine the champion. This is the first race of the year, but it's the Super Bowl of racing here, Daytona International Speedway. You check out the crowd here. It looks empty at the moment, but it's gonna fill up. We're expecting a big crowd today. Weather, I don't know if it's going to cooperate, but we're expecting a big crowd.
Went out on a limb there.
Andrew, you're writing things down here? You're taking notes on Billy's
on how to expense.
I'm just trying to grade. Number one, how do you get things expensed at this company? That's important. I have a 2-hour commute every morning I come here. And also, number two, just like why was this looked at as not being good enough? And I'm taking notes for each video. So,
all right, we'll come.
Get ready because we're sending you to Talladega.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you have security, but all right, we'll talk later.
We're going to get to your notes in a second. Were you with Demi Lovato? What were you doing there?
We were just at like a private party the night before that we were invited to for like NASCAR bigwigs at an airport hangar. And then we saw the schedule, and it's like, well, Demi Lovato is performing. And we're like, really? Okay, well, now we have to go. And it was cinematic. As we were walking, and we weren't on the list, which, was a whole thing. And then we had to figure out how we were on the list, who we had to go through. It was a whole thing. But as we were walking in, Demi's hitting the stage, and Confident just starts playing. And then we were like watching, and we're like, oh, we can get a little bit closer. Like, we can get a little bit closer. And then it got to a point where like, this is close enough. Yeah. Like you can literally like just walk up and be hanging out on the stage because it was like such a private party and everyone was just like talking their NASCAR in the back, and we were just there for Demi. And like we were probably 15 feet away from the stage just because we didn't want to get any closer and make it awkward.
Let's see some of that video and see if Billy went 4 for 4 over Lewis's objections.
Is this an IG story? What is this? This is not.
Oh, more Kugler dancing. More Kugler dancing, and now Lewis is worried we're going to get flagged by.
Oh yeah, this video is not going to be on YouTube anymore because of that. I don't know why we aired that.
Why did you do that?
I will tell you
Good
this.
job, everybody.
We had
Lewis tried to tell you.
You saw Thomas there. Thomas, like it was the weirdest thing. Demi Lovato in the middle of the concert pointed at Thomas and said, "I love this guy. I love his energy." And then went back and continued singing because he was dancing, and she'd say things like, you guys may know this song, and then he'd scream out, and then you could see how close we were. He'd scream out, we know all of them,
yeah,
Demi.
He's beaming. He is totally radiant. Look at him.
Yeah.
That right there, you just caught him. That's the happiest he has ever been right there, just staring at that songbird in the middle of the NASCAR airplane hangar.
What a performer, by the way, Demi Lovato live. Like we thought because this is like a corporate event, like maybe we'd be mailing it in and like just be like going through the motions, lip syncing potentially. No.
Did she do Heart Attack?
Oh, of course she did a heart
That's
attack.
Tough live.
She did Heart Attack. She was. Look at that. That was us when we decided.
She playing right now, posing for your
Yeah. That was in the middle of a song. She came up. We got right up with the stage.
You really had private access.
Yeah,
this is the biggest crew anyone's ever had for an event.
Yeah.
This is amazing content.
Where's the Logano interview? Where's the greatest Joey Logano interview that has ever been done?
How wrong?
People were calling us the Demi Lovatbros.
How wrong was Lewis here? I've got a beaming Andrew Hawkins here.
This is incredible. First off, this is the most I've ever watched any coverage of the Daytona 500. I'll be honest. Never.
We haven't seen a car yet.
I'm being told the Logano interview is a YouTube exclusive.
What?
I'm just going to watch that on YouTube. Thanks.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. We talk a lot about red flags, the warning signs that tell us to stay away from toxic relationships. But what if we spent more time looking for green flags? You know, the signs that a relationship is actually healthy, supportive, and worth investing in. So what are some green flags to look out for? Good communication, emotional safety, mutual respect, and someone who genuinely listens to you. Whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, or even a coworker, recognizing these positive traits can help you build relationships that truly love you back. And if you're not sure how to spot them or even how to practice them yourself, therapy can help. It's not just for people going through major challenges. Therapy can teach you positive coping skills, how to set boundaries, how to show up as the best version of yourself. BetterHelp is accessible, affordable, and convenient with over 30,000 licensed therapists and a fully online platform so you can find the right match for you. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back, and then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more. Now, Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return, while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day. An expert who will find you every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. All so you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries. Now this is taxes. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Dan Le Batard.
Photography's not as hard as it's made out to be. And now with computers, I mean, you can make anything look like anything, Dan. It's almost cheating. It's not fair. Yep. If you push a button and it takes 1,000 pictures, you're going to find a good one in the batch.
There were a lot of photographers there taking thousands of pictures. One got that photograph. Okay, good retort.
Stugotz.
Haven't you ever passed by photographers? I guarantee you when that shot was taken, we didn't just hear. That's not what you heard. If you were by that camera.
Like in my ear with that.
He does a good camera.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Why was this the best interview? Logano is a famously not great interview, right?
Logano's actually, he's got a sparkling media career. I don't know how well he's going to handle, like, Billy interviewing him, but...
It was quick. It was like a quick walk and talk. I think we asked maybe, like, 3 questions, and I will say, not to betray anyone, but, like, afterwards, his people were like, what the hell was that?
So, Logano's the Cup Series champion, reigning Cup Series champion, controversial Cup Series champion from last year, but I think, from what I've heard, Billy was a little confused as to what type of champion he was.
I was giving that information right before.
He's like, hey, you think you're going to go back-to-back here? And he's like, what do you mean, here? He's like, yeah, back-to-back, here.
I was like, we're going to go back-to-back. And he goes, back-to-back. And then he paused. He goes, championship at the end of the year? I was like, yeah. That was pretty much it.
He didn't win the Daytona 500.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
He didn't win the Daytona 500 last year. He certainly didn't win it this year.
Well, that's because the 3 guys we spoke to crashed into each other and all eliminated each other from the race.
Jinxed them.
It's very random. Although William Byron wins for a second consecutive year. How about that? The 24 car.
I just feel like we should have opened with these videos, with this conversation. This has been my favorite part of the show, I'll be honest with you.
Well, I think Mike has some video of a wreck that he has wanted to show for
the Ryan Priest thing? Did you guys see that? So, like, these, I don't know if we have that. I'll give videos some time, but either way, like, these next-gen cars, you'll see sometimes when they're getting real close to one another, the flaps will go up, and that's to keep these cars grounded because it's been an issue at NASCAR, especially at super speedways because they travel so much faster. Cars getting airborne. There have been really gnarly wrecks over at Daytona 500, going up into the barriers, putting the lives of people in the crowd in danger. So everyone wants to keep these cars on the ground. In fact, Ryan Priest last year had a nasty wreck in which it forced Daytona to chop up some of the grass that they have over there in the infield and pave it, because the grass also helped make this car go airborne. But here's Ryan Preece, the 60 car,
it's terrifying.
goes airborne for the second straight year at Daytona, and it was horrific to watch live. It's amazing these guys just get up and walk away. When you juxtapose that from what happened 24 years ago with Dale Earnhardt, which looks rather innocuous compared to that, and we lost Dale, that's just crazy.
I've seen tires come off of those cars, and I just get terrified at the idea of if that hit a person, if somehow the safety measures and the protective nettings weren't good enough, like that would kill several people, just a tire flying into the crowd.
How many sets of tires do you think they use at Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona 500? If you were to guess, a betting man, how many sets of tires?
4 sets of tires.
Good guess. Dan?
I'm going to say 1,000 sets.
1,000 sets. Well, I meant per car, like per car.
1,000 per car,
well,
so
it's a lot of
somewhere
pitting,
between 4 and 1,000.
All right, Hawk?
I thought you just asked how many tires, and so I was counting all the cars.
Sets of tires. A set is 4.
These cars have 4 tires, yeah.
I would say 20.
20, okay. For this race, they only use 7 sets of tires. How much do you guys think each set of tires costs?
Oh, they've got to be thousands of dollars. No, they've got to
like
be
$400
more.
a set.
Okay.
I think if you get the premium, like I paid like $800 or something like that for my set.
Okay.
One of the most amazing things I have ever seen my father do, before I knew what Hialeah was here in South Florida, was back when he ruled Hialeah. He took me through a labyrinth of alleys and places. A door opened, and they sold me a spare tire for $10.
Well,
$10.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, $10 your guess
Yes.
for the set. Remember, it's 4 the set.
Okay, so $40 is my guess.
No, $2,800 for the set of 4 tires.
Well, those ones aren't stolen, so that's why.
Yeah.
That's the difference between what you paid.
Have any of you ever bought something from someone, either roaming around South Florida in a van filled with electronics equipment, or bought something at a gas station from somebody who's just hustling, selling some independent stolen things? Have any of you ever purchased from one of the vans in South Florida that pulls up next to you and says, "Would you like to buy X?"
No.
Cheap?
Typically, if a van pulls up next to me, I try to avoid it.
Yeah.
I sprint away.
Yeah. Nothing good happens if a van pulls up next to
But you guys have all had this happen to you, correct?
No.
But usually
Van, like the specificity of the van is what's throwing me off.
You got to have a lot of room for the electronic equipment.
I think I told you, I had a guy pull up to me like in a van in a Home Depot parking lot. Like I was walking out, I had bought like a planter, and he's like, hey, you need a home sound system? Like I have a surround sound, all these speakers. He's like opening it up, and I'm like, where is this going? Like I'm very confused by this interaction. He's like, oh, like I'm a contractor, and we ordered too many for this project that I'm on. So normally this is like a $7,000 sound system, but I could probably give it to you for like 3. And I'm like, does this man think that I'm just walking around with $3,000 to give him for a sound system in the event that someone came up to me with a van like full of electronic? It was the strange thing. I'm like, no, I have a small house. That's what I just kept telling. Like, no, I have a small house. Like, no, this is good for any house. I'm like, no, it's I have kids. It's gonna be too loud. Like, I can't make this work. Thank you though. Maybe next time. I think I hit him with a maybe next time.
Was it before or after he saw you hanging out with Demi Lovato?
Oh, this is way before. He didn't know I was a Lovatbros at the time.
I was going to say, maybe that's why he thought you had 3K just in a back pocket.
Well, the idea that you would have any cash has had to be years ago, because no one's carrying cash, but $3,000 in cash, certainly. I like the idea of the van pulling up with a credit card machine. Like
I can tell you this, you don't need cash or a credit card machine when you have Venmo. I mean, it's easy to do. Boom, boom. Venmo also sponsors our fine bucket. I don't know if you knew that, Dan. Hawk, sometimes, we'll get fines for doing things. Sponsored by Venmo. Incredible.
Well done.
Hawk, what are your notes here on all of Billy's videos and his coverage for Daytona 500 that involved 4 other people and the first dancing Kugler I've ever seen?
The 3 people, first of all, I will tell you this. That trip, you don't need to know the budgets for these things. That trip was like maybe $700 for 4 people to go to Daytona 500. It was like next to nothing that we paid. It was like like a discount. I should be upcharging and put a premium on that. You know what I mean? Maybe put in some gas miles or something. But we needed to have someone for the social clips to get out there. We got those clips out, boom, right like that, boom, boom, boom,
boom. Not to say that we didn't see anything from All-Star Weekend, but boom, we got some NASCAR clips out almost immediately. Boom, boom, boom.
We didn't, and
we
haven't
got
seen
some.
very much
We got
from
some other
All-Star
videos
Weekend.
out there. Like
throw that in.
Yeah, we got 8 people at the All-Star game. I'm sure we'll get it by next All-Star game. Let's play some video here. One more video of Billy at Daytona 500.
I think I'm home. Hello, sir. How are you? Who do we like today? Who are we liking today?
Briscoe. Chase Briscoe, please.
Really?
Yes.
You think that today's the day for Chase?
Sure hoping so. Hope we can get the race in.
Hoping it's lead Briscoe today, you know what I mean?
Yes, all the way. Lead Briscoe. Thank you so much, sir. Is he the name on your house?
It's the number 9 car coming through here, Taylor. Be careful. Careful. It's a good-looking car. Are we number 9, guys? Is that Chase Elliott? It's something Elliott. We're Elliott, guys, I think. Here we go. The 48 car.
It only gets better.
A historic number in NASCAR, 48. Bowman's driving it today. I think we might be Bowmen today here. Sporting the 48, you know what I mean?
Billy?
I like it. I like how we're looking so far. Good day.
I am willing to authorize right now budget for you to be the correspondent at events where you have no expertise and just
no expertise.
Just wandering around.
I was in the trailers.
You got the
talking
names
to Noah
right.
Gragson. Yeah.
You got Bowman right.
I think it's
You got the historic number 49, 48, whatever it was.
I mean,
Jimmy Johnson. Come on, everybody.
If
knows
you
that.
guess Elliott, you have a good chance of being right.
Yeah.
Correct?
I mean, I saw his name on the car. It's over the window.
I mean, he is the son of Bill Elliott.
I
can't confirm or deny that. I don't know if this is a trick.
Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
It's easy to see why Billy has his own day. Because this is not only...
I heard that you were shitting on that.
I was
I'm gonna tell you. Word got to me that you were really poo-pooing that situation.
I was not poo-pooing the situation. I was not. That was not the sentiment.
I heard you said no big deal or something along those lines. I've had many a day.
No, they discredited my day because I didn't have an official seal on the declaration, but I did have a seal. And then they put up a picture of the music artist seal because he was black. And
This is what they do.
It was a whole thing, Billy.
This is what they try to divide us. This is what they do.
Exactly. I just want you to know, not only am I proud of your day.
Thank you.
Those
I'm proud of your
were
day.
the 5 best content clips that this show has to offer.
Wow.
Okay? And
Look
the
at
reason
us.
why, and I gave some notes. Number 1, they could have cut that one down by about 61%.
Yeah, some of them were long.
You know?
A little long.
That was a little long. Number 2, they could have cut right to the interview of the guy when you said, "Are you excited to see Pitbull?" He says, "Yes." That's great content. Number 3 was kind of an opening. That should have led all the videos because no one's in the stands yet, so it kind of gives you a little bit of a build-up.
But you got to see the opening to the video package on YouTube. Oh, what it's an
I'm going to watch
electric
it. Trust
opening.
me, I'm locked in. Number 4, we could have cut right to Cougs dancing at the concert. Like anytime he's dancing, you got to put him in there. I'm telling you, you just got to trust me on this. I know content. I'm not just some guy. And then number 5.
Those are cutoff shorts, by the way. You can't see it here. It almost looked like a onesie. Those shorts, same exact print, like mid-thigh at
I want you to watch the neck work at the end of this video. Just let it get to the neck. It gets cut off here. But that right there is where I was like, oh no, this isn't a fluke.
He's a confident dancer.
You could see it. You can't hide that.
Put it on the poll, please.
5 was perfect.
At Le Batard Show, can you be a confident dancer if you are so flat-footed that it seems your feet are made of cement?
Folks, did you know that sleep is one of the most important parts of recovery? Whether you're a pro athlete or just looking to crush your day, getting the right kind of rest is key. And that's where Sleep Number Smart Beds comes in. Since 2018, Sleep Number has partnered with the NFL to help elite athletes get quality sleep that they need to perform at their best. In fact, 80% of NFL players sleep on Sleep Number Smart Beds. Tough workout? The Sleep Number Smart Bed can be adjusted to suit your needs. Firmer one night, softer the next, giving you the ultimate recovery boost. And let's talk about those sweaty, sleepless nights. The new Climate Cool Smart Bed adjusts up to 15 degrees cooler on either side with scientifically designed cooling programs to keep you comfortable and undisturbed. Sleep Number Smart Beds don't just help you sleep, they learn how you sleep, providing personalized insights to help you get even better rest. It's like having a sleep coach right in your bedroom. Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now, save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Hey there, wellness warriors. If you're like me, you've given a lot of thought to how to improve your health and wellness routine this year. I've started stretching more, do a little mindfulness and meditation every day, try to clear my mind, make my body feel right. Take your health routine to the next level with the magic of contrast therapy. Meet our new amazing sponsor, Redwood Outdoors. They're making it easy to bring the benefits of saunas and cold plunges right to your backyard. A Redwood Outdoors backyard sauna seats 2 to 8 people, where you can relax, unwind, and enjoy all the benefits like reduced muscle tension, improved sleep, and glowing skin. And it doesn't stop there. Redwood Outdoors' invigorating cold plunge helps to boost circulation, sharpen your focus, and leave you feeling absolutely revitalized. Whether it's detoxing deeper, reducing inflammation, or connecting with loved ones in moments of peace, Redwood Outdoors has you covered. Enhance your physical and mental wellness routines with Redwood Outdoors. Take advantage of special savings today. Visit redwoodoutdoors.com. Use code DAN to save $175. That's redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN to save $175 on your order. redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN.